Hey guys, meteorologist Chris Tomer here with this On the Snow Snow Before You Go forecast. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you get notified when my latest forecasts come out. All right, let's talk about what we're going to see here over the next 7, 8, 9 days. Here are my bullet points. The next item up here for the Intermountain West is this trailing cold front from 119 into the morning hours of 120. So 120 could have new snow at a number of ski areas. We'll talk about that timing here in a second. Some minor snow accumulations with that. And then the next storm behind that is 124, 25, and 26. That's going to come out of the Pacific Northwest, BC, Alberta, drop down into Montana, Wyoming, and down into Colorado and New Mexico, largely missing Utah as it looks right now, and kind of missing Idaho as well. So those are the areas that I think are going to have the most active weather. Let me set the table here. So this is infrared satellite, and this particular channel. It really helps to see the Arctic air mass that we have in place in our market. You can kind of see it right here, this blue all across. So this whole area and this blue and this aqua, that's you can see the legend at the bottom. That's about a -30 to -40 Celsius air mass, very cold behind this Arctic front. Now you can also, let me change colors. You can also see the flow. So everything is going up and then down and coming right down on the periphery of this and moving through parts of Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, and into New Mexico. And that's exactly the way this is going to stay. With additional, you can see some energy right here, and there's some additional fronts coming out of Canada. That's where all the action's going to come. Those are the two fronts that I have in my forecast for the West. So let's look at timing. Forecast best odds of snow here for the Wasatch, Tetons, Colorado, interior BC, Tahoe, in the Northeast. So for the Wasatch, you've got some light accumulations into 120, and it's going to be very light. And then I don't have much else. It looks like that second front largely misses the Wasatch. The Tetons, you've got moderate snow coming on 124. You'll likely have some light snow 119, maybe into the early morning hours of 120, but then the next shot is 124. Colorado, afternoon, evening into of 119 into 120. So 120 could have some light accumulations if you're going to be out skiing in the morning on 120. And then 125, moderate accumulations. Interior BC 123, 124. That's next with light to moderate accumulations. I still don't have anything for Tahoe. Just totally out of the storm track. And in the Northeast, there's a coastal low into 120 with light to moderate accumulations, and then light on 126. Here's another way to look at this. Here's my spider chart, odds of best snow next 7, 8, 9 days. And so more purple higher on the web, better odds of new snow. That's a lot of Colorado. That's where some of the biggest numbers across the West are going to be, because you're going to get two different fronts that lay down snow accumulation. The Tetons are there. The parts of Montana are also there, especially Big Sky and Bridger Bowl. Probably going to get the most out of all the Montana resorts from this pattern. Interior BC is a little higher on the list this time around. Northern New Mexico, a little higher on the list. And in the Northeast, you've got some snow as well. Got the coastal low and then maybe a front behind that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about snow accumulation over time. So, all right, I'm going to start this particular forecast model. This is 5 a.m. on Monday, January 20th. So when you see the light blues, that's light snow accumulation under 3 inches. So that's the trailing front that you see coming down through Montana, Wyoming, and into Colorado into Monday morning. You can see the accumulation through the mountain zones all the way down, in fact, into Denver. We're probably going to see light accumulations into Denver. And a little bit of that brushes the high Uintas, and then look up to the northeast. That's the coastal low. You can see the accumulation. Some of it's coming off the lake, but a lot of it's hugging the coast. Massachusetts, once you pop into the greens, you're over 3 inches, 3 to 6 inches. And that's the case all the way from Massachusetts to parts of southern New Hampshire, southern Maine, and then lighter wraparound snows into the interior. So that's one area of snow. All right, here we are by the afternoon, evening of Monday the 20th. Snow moving through southern Colorado, northern New Mexico. Look at the lake effect up there off Lake Erie and also Ontario. That continues through late Monday. Okay, here we are into early, this is lunchtime on Tuesday, January 21st. Look at the lake effect continuing up there across Ontario and also Lake Erie. Now, I want you to look at to the south here. This is this trailing front that came out of Colorado. Now look at what it's doing in southern Texas, Louisiana. We could see 3 or 4 inches of snow and ice in Houston, Texas, and New Orleans out of this. Absolutely remarkable. Okay, let's move ahead. Here's late on Tuesday, even into the panhandle of Florida, possible with some wintry type precip. Here's the lunch hour on Wednesday. Here's late on Wednesday. Here's Thursday lunch into the afternoon. There's late Thursday. Here's early morning on Friday into the lunch hour on Friday. Look at the next front. So this is the 124, 25, 26 cold front coming out of Alberta and BC, dropping down through Montana and then down into Wyoming. Here's late on Friday. Here's the early morning hours of Saturday, January 25th. That front is now dropping into Colorado, and Denver and the Front Range will probably get a little bit out of this. There's lunch Saturday, there's afternoon Saturday, and a little bit of green popping through some of the mountain zones of Colorado. Could see 3 to 6 out of that. Here's early morning on Sunday, January 26th, still snowing in Colorado and Denver on the Front Range. And then it drops down into southern Colorado and northern New Mexico through late on the 26th. And there's that next storm system potential through parts of the Great Lakes, the Midwest, and then moving up into the Northeast on the 26th. All right, my official numbers. 120 through 126 total accumulation. Remember, there are roughly 2 fronts, one that continues into 120 and then the second one that comes in from the north out of 124, 25, and 26. So we'll start in the Wasatch, very light snow accumulation, 1 or 2 inches, and that's it. You're largely out of that second one. 5, 6 inches there through the Tetons, and potentially 8s up there in Big Sky, Bridger Bowl, Red Lodge. So good snow there, and then 3 or 4 inches up through parts of Whitefish, Snowbowl, and Discovery. Idaho's light, 1 or 2 inches, maybe even 0 across Sun Valley. Interior BC, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches through Fernie, Red Mountain, Kicking Horse, and Revelstoke, and potentially 2 to 4 as you drop down into Banff Sunshine and Marmot Basin, and maybe 4 or 5 inches through Baker, Crystal, Rainier, Timberline, and Bachelor. We'll see. And I'm still zeroed out through California. Nothing. Now in Colorado, 3 to 8 inches will likely do it through pretty much all the mountain zones. 4 to 8, somewhere in that zone. But I've got 8s there through Aspen, Snowmass, Vail, Copper, Summit County, A Basin, Loveland, Winter Park, Keystone, up towards Steamboat. Now in the southern mountains, it's kind of a 4 to 6 inch snow down there, with 6 over the top of Silverton ski area and 6 over Cuchara, 3s and 4s down in northern New Mexico. Up in the northeast, 120 through 126. Again, that coastal low continues into 120. That's where you're going to pick up a lot of this accumulation in Massachusetts, 3, 4, 5 inches there. Potentially 6s up through Ragged and Mount Washington, Cranmore, 4 or 5 up into parts of Maine. And up into parts of Vermont, 3, 4 inches there, maybe 6 up in Jay Peak. And there's your lake effect there right across Snow Ridge, and about 5 in Whiteface. All right, so we'll end on the big western map here. Again, a couple of different cold fronts, and some of the best accumulation is in Colorado, northern New Mexico, Tetons, Big Sky, Bridger Bowl, Red Lodge, and potentially up towards Revelstoke. Guys, thanks for tuning in here to this update. Always appreciate it. Take care and have a great day.